It's time for What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. Here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Reno, wake up, get dressed, and get ready. You are listening to What Drives Reno, and don't forget, it is presented by the National Automobile Museum. What Drives Reno? That's a mouthful, but I want to remind everyone, because sometimes, obviously, it's about cars. Sometimes it's more about people. Sometimes it's more about people and less about cars. So today, it's a combination. I want to remind everyone listening today that if you haven't been down to the National Automobile Museum in Reno, we were voted 5 best national automobile museums in general in all of the United States. So that's a huge claim by USA Today, or a huge prize. Also voted number 1 by TripAdvisor. But part of this show also is, for those of you who are listening, I want you to tell me if you know of somebody that you think is an influencer, someone who's made a difference, someone who likes cars, doesn't have to be about cars, someone maybe is just really active in the community. We want to know about them. We want to bring them down and talk to them on the show. And with that, I'm going to make my first guest introduction. It is the one and only Isla Friedenthal. Did I say that correctly?
You said it perfectly,
I did,
Phil.
and she has the biggest smile. And just so you know, she is always smiling. And her title is President and CEO of Nevada Women's Fund and Commissioner, Nevada Commission for Women. Did I say that part right?
Yeah.
Close enough?
Sounds so fancy.
It does actually sound. I got to get a fancier title. No, Isla, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here. I have been fortunate enough to be in the National Automobile Museum probably half a dozen times just this year. And every time I'm excited about what you're doing, what I'm seeing, the different special cars that you bring in. Of course, I love Mater. So the
we have
Cars
a lot of cool
movie,
things. It's always nice to have you there smiling, and we see you all the time. Actually, I have an office next to mine now. We're going to get a nameplate because we've seen you quite often. People think you're part-time or full-time.
Are you paying me?
No, actually, nobody.
Oh.
We're a 501c3, reminding our listeners. But thank you. I want to just kind of talk about you, but we're going to start off, which is kind of a tradition here. What was your first car?
My first car was a 1992 Ford Escort. It was the prettiest color blue, and my favorite part about it was my best friend and I, for our birthdays, got one another personalized license plates. So I had a blue Ford Escort, and the license plate said Isla's.
Nice.
I think they call those vanity plates now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I just think they're cool.
I wouldn't do it now.
No, I know. Actually, I have my nickname, and actually, it's so funny. When I first moved to town, someone told me, Phil, I'll tell you right now, do not pronounce the state wrong. And if I walk out to the parking lot and I see a vanity plate on there, that's a big mistake. And he says, also remember, everybody knows everybody in this town. They've dated, they're divorced from, everyone who knows everybody. It's a very small town. And he said that I walked out, he goes, you've already, over what did I get? The first 2 wrong. I had a Doogie license plate, my nickname. Actually, I never said that loud. And then the other one was, I said the state, I pronounced it wrong. And he goes, I just want to remind you, 3 strikes, you're out. And he was really serious, didn't break a smile at all. It's like, oh, geez, I better take that seriously. All right, so enough about me. Let's talk about you. You are doing so much here. I see you everywhere on social media, and you've just done so much for the community. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization, please?
Yeah, my favorite topic, Nevada Women's Fund. Mm-hmm. The Nevada Women's Fund was founded 42 years ago, so in 1983. A lot of people don't realize that, by local, very influential women at the time, and still to this day. Sue Wagner, Frankie Sue Del Papa, Lynn Atchison got together over lunch, wanted to talk about the frustration and imbalance of funding going to women and women's organizations at that time, decided if they were going to make a difference, or if there was going to be a difference made, it was going to be by them. So they pooled their money, and in 1983 awarded 2 $500 scholarships. They believed at the time if they supported the education of women, they would uplift families and strengthen our community, which was their ultimate goal.
That's great.
Fast forward, 42 years later, we've awarded $10.5 million to women living and educating right here in northern and rural Nevada. I always want to throw in rural Nevada because our rural communities are so vital to the success of Nevada. And we can go back really quick to your story about pronouncing Nevada correctly. I'm such a proud native Nevadan. I'm glad I never heard you say it otherwise.
No, I only did it like the first time. And actually, in my mind, I said, I will never say that wrong again. So I
I had a keynote speaker recently at our lunch, Salute to Women of Achievement, which we host every May, Northern Nevada's largest business luncheon, where we honor more than 75 local women. And our keynote speaker was here from New Jersey. And I told her in advance, let's make sure I did it phonetically. She decided just to not say Nevada at all throughout her speech. She was so scared she was going to blow it. And I looked at her and I was like, probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, actually, it makes me laugh because you see people that are politicians, they come in from out of state and they come in and they say, well, I know it's really important to you to say this the right way. And I go, no, you said it wrong. Even though you pointed it out, you said it wrong. Yeah. So I understand the importance of it. So I had no idea the organization was around that long. Yeah,
that's what so many people say. And I'm really proud. We've had great growth in the last 4 years. One of the things that we talk about a lot, Phil, and I'm excited to be able to share with you and your audience, is that women are enrolled in and graduating from college at a higher rate than men for the first time in history. But going into the workforce, making 80 cents on the dollar. So a wage disparity that hasn't changed in 20 years, in 2 decades. So Nevada Women's Fund, what we've really focused on is our mission is empowering women to achievement. Our founders, those amazing women, believe that you did that through education. And I agree to a point, but empowering women can't stop when they cross the stage with their diploma. We have to continue to support them through professional development, career advancement.
Absolutely.
And then a big piece that we're talking about, and I know you at the museum do a great job of this, is supporting women in the workplace, because workplace equality is a big factor in the overall success of a woman when she has a supportive employer that is ensuring that she has her unique skill sets are being honored in her workplace, and that women as the primary caregivers, that responsibility is being acknowledged by employers and supported. And I know you do that. I know some of your employees. I think there might even be a new National Automobile Museum baby. Has it come yet?
No, actually, we just said goodbye to today. Her last day. She's on maternity leave. So another couple of weeks.
But you're doing a great job in that way, supporting women.
They're just an amazing team. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for the team that I have.
Yeah, that's great.
They work hard.
Nevada Women's Fund, supporting women with academic scholarships, but then also supporting women in the workplace by being a thought leader in the community, really challenging our community to look at what they're doing and what they can do better. And we don't want to call anyone out. What we want to do is celebrate those who are doing really great work.
Good. Well, I appreciate it. So let's dig in a little deeper now. So you started off 42 years ago with a couple of $500 commitments. Take us through some of the milestones or whatever you'd like to make sure our listeners. What are we up to now? 1 billion listeners?
Billion and a half.
Billion and a half listeners.
Wow. If each one of those listeners could send in $1, we'll fund a scholarship out of this.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Don't make me show my work. I can't prove it.
Yeah. Yes. I kind of. What do I say? I kind of throw some numbers around there. Maybe we're not quite 1 billion yet.
Not quite.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Okay, so I shared that in the first year, 1983, Nevada Women's Fund awarded 2 $500 scholarships, so $1,000. This year, we awarded $525,000. So we've grown a little bit over the years. Yeah, milestones, gosh, there's so many. Those women who were receiving scholarships from us 20, 30, and even 40 years ago have gone on to be truly the leaders and the game changers in our community. I can name a few that you'll know right off the Sandra Douglas Morgan, she's the president. I'm looking at your sweatshirt of the Las Vegas Raiders. She received a scholarship from Nevada Women's Fund in the early 90s.
Oh, that's great.
Who would have known what she would go on to do? County Commissioner Mari Luz Garcia, she received a scholarship from Nevada Women's Fund. Probably the most beloved surgeon in our community, Dr. Frida Holka, has Western Surgical Group. We supported her through med school. And that's a special part of our scholarship program, is that women can apply year after year. Oftentimes, one scholarship, you're done. Good luck. Keep going. Nevada Women's Fund, we make a really concerted effort that if you receive money from us your freshman year in college, we want to support you all the way through. We want to make sure that the journey you started is the journey you get to complete.
Right, because we want them to finish it.
We want them to finish it.
Wow, that's great.
Another thing I'd love to share with you, because I'm so proud of it, is our number one value is we trust women. And we do that, Phil, by handing the scholarship check directly to the woman. Most scholarships go to the academic institution and to pay for tuition. We're so fortunate in the state of Nevada that our students educating are getting great support through the Promise program, through the Millennium Scholarship. So tuition is often not the barrier for women. When it comes to education, it's housing, it's transportation,
Right.
it can be childcare. So that's a piece of our story that we're very proud of.
Oh, that's great. So when people are listening here and they're not really familiar with your organization, is there one particular thing you want to make sure they understand, either just how can they support? We'll just jump right to that.
Well, I would say because we are doing so much, and we do have some of our community's most iconic and well-attended events, as you know. Our Salute to Women of Achievement Luncheon in May, 1,400 people come together at the Reno Ballroom. That's an incredible event. Coming up in November, we have Power of the Purse. That is primarily for women. Most of our events, here's what I want to say. What do you think your listenership is? What's the percentage men versus women?
I don't know. Out of that billion, what do you say?
60-40?
60 women.
No, 60%. I'm guessing. I don't know. That's a good question. We need to do some research on that.
So what I want people to know is that Nevada Women's Fund encourages men to attend our events, to attend our luncheons, to attend International Women's Day. These aren't events that are solely for women. We need men. Men are our allies and our advocates. And so when we're talking about Nevada Women's Fund and what it means to the community, we can't do what we do without the support and of men
that's
just
great
like
to know.
you.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I personally kind of thought it was a 90-10 rule.
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely not.
No,
the
good.
only event, and this is where I started with it, that men are welcome to come, is Power of the Purse. I just don't know that you'll enjoy it in the same way we do.
I probably wouldn't have the same appreciation
You probably
level.
wouldn't.
So you have one coming up in November, and then tell me some of the signature events. Are those the signature events?
Those are our two big signature events. Power of the Purse, November 21st, again at the Reno Ballroom. You eat, you drink. We have 40-something local vendors. So it's the kickoff to the holiday shopping season. So you do some shopping. And then I think you know this, one of the largest boards in Northern Nevada. I have 35 really incredible bosses. Each of those board members donates a designer purse for this event, a brand new designer purse. Wow. I always want to clarify. So we'll have everything from Louis Vuitton to Yves Saint Laurent, you name it. And throughout the evening, we raffle off those purses. And it's a very equitable fundraiser, which is something else that's important to us. If it was a live auction, it would go to the woman who had the most money in the room. We don't do that. You buy raffle tickets, you put the raffle ticket in, and it's luck of the draw. So the school teacher has the same opportunity as the CEO for winning one of these great designer bags.
I love that. Yeah, that's great. It's good for everybody.
It's good for everybody.
So what do you need for people who are listening? How can they help you specifically with that?
So Power of the Purse, I would say go to our website, NevadaWomen'sFund.org, buy a ticket, join us that evening. In general, though, Phil, I just want the community to know that Nevada Women's Fund is here, and we're here to, as I said, not just empower and elevate opportunities for women, but really by doing that, we're strengthening the community. So go to our website, NevadaWomen'sFund.org. Again, we have so much information there. You can see the different events, learn how you can get involved. Also, just learn more about what we're doing and where you want to support, right? It's not just one lane.
Just
There's
get more
so
educated,
many ways.
more familiar with it.
Exactly.
I'm just going to jump in real quick. It's very similar. You've been around for 42 years. I had no idea. National Automobile Museum has been around for 35 years. One of the biggest things I get is, oh, yeah, I've been there. I forgot about it. Haven't been there since my prom, or don't really understand that it changes every 60 to 90 days. I am constantly trying to re-educate people to say, no, we're a full event center. No, we have levels from, $35. Kind of the same thing. Just reminding people you've been around for so long, you've done amazing things, but just to creating that awareness and just keep re-educating people, because a lot of people moving into town or people just forgot.
Exactly. And as you know, another exciting thing that we're doing is we just launched a speaker series, She Shapes Nevada, and you have a beautiful theater. Yeah. We were so fortunate, privileged to be able to host 100 women in your theater just last week for the inaugural speaker series. So yeah, your venue, I would call it, I guess it's a museum, I would call it a venue.
We're a full event center now.
So many options for our community.
And I'm hoping we're just getting started with that.
We are. We're going to talk.
We'll talk more about that because there's so many opportunities. And for people who are listening, again, go to what website to get more information on?
NevadaWomen'sFund.org.
Okay. But I want people to remember that we have a full movie theater there. It's a theater that seats 200 people. And in addition to that, if it wants to grow, we move it into the gallery, the event room, and I can do 800 people in there, sit down with their own tables and chairs for 300. And not everyone's into cars, but maybe it's history, maybe it's cars, maybe it's Formula One, maybe it's Hollywood cars, but it's got something for everybody. And there's no stairs, no escalators, no smoking, and you just went right in, and it's easy. But it's a gem that I just think people forget. And for other groups in town, I want to remind them that there's a lot of places that a lot of groups just can't afford, and we try to be as reasonable a price as we possibly can.
You truly are a community partner. That's what we like to talk about quite often, is the way Northern Nevada, our community, comes together to support one another, and you are doing an excellent job with that at the Automobile Museum. I
appreciate that. The board is giving me a mission to really be much more of a community partner, and it's much easier. You got 30, how many board members?
35.
35 great board members. I have 13, and they're amazing as well. And we both know we couldn't do what we're doing unless we had their support, right?
That's right.
And you can't. And when you have the bigger the board, typically the harder it is. So I'm glad to hear that they're amazing and supporting you, because we sure do have that support as well. For the people who are listening in the last couple of minutes, what would you like to convey to them that we haven't already talked about? Anything specific you want to make sure?
Yeah, I'm going to throw out some statistics, which aren't necessarily fun, but I think that they're really important.
Good.
The cost of public education has increased by 57% in the last 10 years, truly pricing people out of the opportunity. Yeah. 2/3 of student debt is held by women. So we really have to evaluate how we are looking at higher education and what the makeup is of our state. One of the ways Nevada Women's Fund has done that is we just launched a workforce ready or non-degree scholarship program. So individuals that want to go into the trades or the vocations, or maybe you're already in your career and you know that a specific certificate or licensure program will make you eligible for a promotion or just more competitive in your workspace, we'll fund scholarships for those now. We want to make sure that the doors are open and opportunity is available for women in every industry and at every level.
Well, those are two pretty powerful statistics there.
Yeah.
I mean, that really paints a picture that scares me, quite frankly.
Yeah, as a grandfather who has young kids who will...
I have 2 little granddaughters. I mean, it's tough enough. Just in general, I don't know if I'm just at that age. We joke sometimes. I say, I'm finally at that age where I walk into a room and I look at my wife and I go, oh my gosh, I'm talking about my prescriptions. I am talking about my aches and pains, and I'm talking about my bills. I said, when did I become this person? Yeah. But I can't for the life of me understand, like, if I was coming in out of college right now with the debt, that you have, and then just to get a 1-bedroom apartment in here is it's like a mortgage payment when I first got going.
So that's why we as a community really need to evaluate what we're prioritizing, what education looks like today, what our leading industries in Nevada: mining, manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. Those top 3, mining, manufacturing, they all require a lot of highly skilled trade workers. Right. There are a lot of careers that are available out there that are really good, that don't necessarily require a degree, and I think that we need to take the stigma off of those non-degree programs.
Well, I mean, I love learning more about it. Every time I have a guest come in, I feel like I know you, but when I get to know you, understand, and you share those stats, it's really compelling. So our listeners out there, get involved. Go to the website. Learn more about what we can do. Are there any other stats? Because those two, I love stats. We're going to talk about some more later.
Oh, I can totally geek out with you.
Give me some geek.
So I don't know if you know this. I lead with it quite often, so a lot of people roll their eyes when I say, I'm from Fallon. So I am a native Nevadan, born and raised in Fallon. Very proud of that. Also means that I really want to always emphasize the value of our rural communities. So here's a statistic. Nationally, only 7% of philanthropic dollars go to rural communities. So if you think about the state of Nevada, we have 2 counties that are not rural, right? We have Clark and we have Washoe. Right. 15 of our 17 counties are in the rurals, and nationally only 7% of philanthropic dollars are going there.
Why is that? Educate me. How does that happen? Or is that another episode by itself?
I think and I have plenty of ideas, but I don't know that I'm well educated. I can give you my thoughts and opinions. You might not want them. But I'm going to brag on Nevada Women's Fund. What I'm going to say is that we, as an organization, understand the value of our rural communities and the resources resources they provide. What we need to do is invest in the human capital that are in those rural communities. So 35% of our funding this year went to, so in contrast to that 7% on a national average, 35% of our funding went to women living and educating in the rural communities.
Great. Good for you.
We need to strengthen the infrastructures that are there. And when I say that, I mean healthcare in the rural communities needs great support. We need educators in our rural communities. And we need to entice people to want to be in those communities where so many of our state resources. Have you had, I know you're not a native and you haven't even been here that long, have you had the opportunity to travel north to Elko, that area?
Yeah, I have. And on that note, though, I feel I've been here 7 years now, and I wish I'd been here 30 years. I absolutely, myself, my wife, my 3 children, and all my 8 grandchildren live within a mile of my house. And we say it all the time how blessed we are to be here. I wish I had found this many, many years ago. I'm from Boston originally, been out on the West Coast much longer than I've ever been on the East Coast. But it's just everything about here we love.
It is a very special community, and we take care of one another.
We do. I notice that.
Yeah.
When you're in the circle, I mean, not even the circle, but when you're here, we notice it right away. Sorry, just one boring story is that before we came here, we were going here, me and my wife were looking for a place to stay. And I know this sounds really corny, but we went up to go watch the game. We didn't know anybody in town, didn't know anybody. And we parked the car, and we were probably 75 yards away from the door. And these 2 young men were there, and they had couples with them.
Were you up at the university? You said we were going to see the game.
Football game. We're going to watch it at one of the restaurants.
Got it.
And I literally looked back, and I looked up. They saw us, and they waited with the doors open. Now, that sounds corny, but I mean, I go, Sherry, did you notice that? Oh, absolutely. And it just went on and on and on. You know, I've been in the big city in Boston for quite a number of years. You just don't see that. And we're like the biggest little city. I mean,
we truly are.
But you don't lose that camaraderie, that connection, that community, and it's very powerful.
Which is why you can't talk bad about anybody, like you said at the beginning of the show.
Never.
And you better pronounce the name of our state right.
Yeah. I didn't say it this whole time here because now you got me thinking. If someone says it wrong, it gets in my head. I love watching the people on the news say it. I'm going, oh my gosh, wrong. Don't say that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story really quickly. My children were young. I took them to New York City, as you do, and you're either a Good Morning America watcher or Today Show, right? We're a Good Morning America family at the time. So we made a sign that said Reno Hearts GMA. And lo and behold, we're out on the street like you hope to do, and Ginger Z, the weather lady, comes over to us and says to my daughter, who is probably at that time about 8 or 10, on national television, it was the best day of my life. She said, is it pronounced Nevada or And my daughter clarified it right there. And we're texting because of the 3-hour time difference. We got to text all of our friends back home on the West Coast and say, watch the news because Emma's going to clarify the proper.
Educate the world on that.
And here we are. That was probably 12 years ago, and we're still doing it, Phil, right here.
No, I love it. Before we wrap up, any parting words for those people who are listening today? Things you want them to get involved with? Besides the website, is there one particular thing you want to leave with?
Yeah, I'm going to say, please join us for Power of the Purse on November 21st. Please look at the woman who works across from you, lives with you, lives down the hall from you. Thank her for something that she's doing. Recognize the contributions that she makes to your family, to your workspace, and to our community. And thank you, Phil, for having me.
No, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you very much.
We'll be back with more What Drives Reno on 1060 AM KFOY, Radio for America.
I'm having my birthday at the National Automobile Museum. They have this cool birthday zone with Mater and Lightning McQueen. And their brand new Children's Activity Center has fun games like Junior Engineering Studio, Lego Building, an interactive car wash, and a lot more too. They even have a theater where we can watch a movie or play Mario Kart. I even get my own birthday t-shirt.
Book your child's ultimate birthday party today at the National Automobile Museum. Visit automuseum.org/events.
Looking for a venue for your next event? The National Automobile Museum can host any event in a variety of venues to choose from. Have an awards ceremony in the 157-seat theater or select one of several themed galleries for a business luncheon or banquet. Guests will love the 16,000 square foot Riverside Pavilion, complete with outdoor bar, heaters, and fire pits. Everything you need, including chairs, linens, staging, and AV equipment, are also available. Go to automuseum.org for details.
We're back with more What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. And now here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Okay, everybody, we are back, Reno, and today we have a special guest. And actually, the reason this show exists is because of this guest, and that's the truth. I'm proud to introduce Lisa. Lisa is at Lotus Radio, and she is the person that made this all come together. Lisa, welcome to the show.
I love you, Phil.
I love
Thank
you too.
I'm so glad we're doing this show. It's the best show on the radio.
Yes, we're up to, what do we say? We keep
1.5 billion listeners.
listeners. Yes.
One.
And growing exponentially.
Then when China wakes up, it'll be...
Yeah, it just goes through the roofs. All right, so Lisa, tell me a little bit about what you do, and then we're going to get into some of the cool, exciting things in town. Sorry. I did it again,
You
Terry.
did it again.
I forgot. What was your first car? You've been just waiting to share the story.
Every show, I listen to your show, and I'm like, I can't wait till he asks me my first car. It was a 1971 Super Beetle, VW Super Beetle, and I bought it all by myself. I was 14 and a half.
Wow.
And
That's the youngest so
yeah,
far.
I've always worked, and I saved up, and I bought it, and then when I was 15 and a half, I had it all decked out. It was lowered. I had a custom paint job. I had the black turbo mirrors on the side and the black running boards, black tinted windows, and then on the back, because I couldn't afford a BMW. I said my VW.
At 14, I would have said, well, okay, that's pretty good.
I went to a fancy school in Danville called Santa Mona High. In fact,
Danville, where?
Smith, Roundabout Catering.
Yeah, Colin?
He went to, yes, we went to the same school.
Colin Smith.
Yes, Santa Mona High. So, everybody had BMWs. So I was like sporting my little VW BMW, my wannabe BMW. And I had it for about a year. So that was about it.
And now you are, I will say, like Norma in Cheers. When Lisa comes in, everybody says, Lisa! When
They
she
say
walks
trouble.
into the room,
Here comes trouble.
No, that's what they say. No, they actually love you. Always smiling too. Tell us about what you do, and tell us a little bit about. I mean, you are everywhere.
I
You're
am
social
everywhere.
media. You're the connector. Truly, you are the ultimate connector.
That's actually a compliment. I think that when God puts us on this earth, we all have a purpose, and some of us figure it out. Some of us go through life randomly. I have a big mouth, and I think I'm the messenger. I connect people, and I now am in radio, and I have the opportunity to share messages with different communities and help businesses and nonprofits. And gosh, if I got paid $1 for every time I shared something on social media, I'd be a billionaire. But now I've been with Lotus for 4 years, the best radio network around as far as I'm concerned, great people to work with. And the great thing about working in radio is it allows you to have the opportunity to just walk up to pretty much anybody and start a conversation. And Lotus being what it is, I can walk up to Governor Lombardo, I'm sure, and say, hi, I'm with Lotus Radio. And he would say, what do you want to ask me? I mean, radio gives you that freedom to do that. I believe so. Am I wrong, Phil?
No,
do you know Governor Lombardo?
I got that serious face because as you're saying that, I'm thinking you could walk up if you worked at the Shell gas station or whatever and say, I am Lisa. I want to talk. And they say, okay, it doesn't matter if you're at the radio station, but I can understand. Yes, I'm here. And they with your big smile, and they say, great, how can I help you?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I got to meet you. Yeah, and you
well,
are
there
just...
is a pitfall to all this. You bring the bad side up.
You came here to Reno right before I did, and we share a lot of commonality, both from that other place down the road, a couple hours away.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Everything about it. We were just talking about with Isla, and I said, I wish I got here 30 years ago.
Gosh.
So when people, I'm going to share a little bit real quick here, is because one of the biggest things that I want to do at the National Automobile Museum, and remind people this is presented by the National Automobile Museum, we've been around for 35 years, but people forget. You know, I say the same thing. If you haven't been there in the last 6 months, it could have changed dramatically.
Oh my gosh.
And people are always, no, same old thing.
Yeah.
No, we have new exhibits. Just this week, we had the Porsche exhibit come in. One car alone is worth $800,000, and we have 25 of the most unique, amazing automobiles. And if you were there 2 weeks before that, it was a VW one. If you're there before that, it was Fast and Furious. It is always changing. But the reason I'm getting to that is I need to communicate to everybody. So what drives Reno? Yeah, it's talking about cars and people, but I'm trying another outlet to remind people that haven't been to the museum in a long time, and we're getting great feedback from the show.
Oh yeah, every time I go to visit you, I speak to one of the ambassadors, and there are people that are always coming every single day. There's always people coming, and the first thing I ask them, they have no idea who I am. I say, where did you come from, and how did you hear about this place? Every single visitor that I've been there to acknowledge, they all came from California. They saw it on TripAdvisor, or when they checked into their hotel, they said, what's a fun thing to do? And I think you're the number one tourist destination
number one
in
tourist destination in TripAdvisor, and then voted number 5 best automobile museum in the country by USA Today.
Okay, and I've been to some automobile museums, and let me just tell you, the thing that I love, and I've been wanting to use this word, I don't know if I'm allowed to, it's a brand name.
Get ready for the beeper.
Okay.
Get ready for the buzzer.
I believe that your museum, Phil, I know your board's not going to love that, but you've done so much work to make this happen. I believe it's like the Universal Studios, not Disneyland, Universal Studios of museums. And I say that because you have all of these themes in all of these different rooms. And so anybody, any age, any culture, any race, any economic level can walk in there and relate to something. They're going to see something and have a story. Every single room.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
It is. No, I really am, because people think, oh, you're the big warehouse.
No.
You turn to the right, you have a working garage. You go 10 more feet, and you're like literally in Cars Land with Tow Mater and Lightning McQueen in the walls. You go another 20 feet, and we have the history of the Harley Davidson, 110 years of that. You turn to the left, you have a movie theater, and it's showing the Thomas, Henry Ford and everybody else. You go outside the door, Formula One, Kids Zone, 3,000 square foot, all are interactive, and then Paul Newman's cars, Hollywood cars, and then you have another 275.
You go from like the 1800s in one gallery all the way to futuristic. I mean, it's all over the place. You have celebrities. You have all of this fun stuff happening.
It's different.
It is very different.
And I want to remind you, there's a little thing I just got to share, because you just reminded me. There's a thing, and I'm really curious how long it's going to take for my listeners to use this. So I'm going to share something with everybody. The famous thing that comes is someone will come up, and I have a T-shirt. They always say, Phil said. People I've never met before in my life will come up and they say, well, Phil said, this, and Phil said that. So it's actually a thing my whole team brings up on a constant. So I actually have a T-shirt on the front that says Phil, and on the back it says didn't say, because I don't even know some of the things that people brought up. But I want to take advantage of that now. So people who are listening, on the 27th, that's Monday, we're going to talk about this new exhibit, the Porsche exhibit, in a minute. Anyone who comes in, the first, I'll say 50 people that come in the museum on Monday the 27th, and before they go to pay their fee, if they say, Phil said 50% off, we'll get them 50% admission. All right? So I'm curious. So listeners there, if you haven't been to the Automobile Museum, and anything we're talking about is an interest, including the brand new Porsche exhibit, and you come there on Monday only, the first 50 people, let's make it the first 75, because we want to make sure the first, you have to say Phil said.
Okay.
And if you put quotes in there, up your hand, then that just gives you extra brownie points. You get 50% admission. So is there anything that you want to share with people that they might not know, not just about the museum, but about what you do and how they can get more involved and get their message out?
I want to talk about the museum, because I have this idea, and I think it would be so epic. How many people do you think have been through the museum in the last 5 years?
Well, it's funny you said that. So I just presented this.
Including all the kids.
Well, I'll just give you a number how much it's grown. So 6 years ago, we were about 65,000 people a year.
Okay.
And that's right when COVID happened, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So right around that time. This year, we're on track to do 117,000 people.
All right.
And that's because we're a full event center now. So we have something going on, sometimes 2 or 3 events from celebrations of life to weddings. So about 117,000, and we know everybody's coming in.
I would love for the audience to share a picture of their experience at the museum with your kids, at your wedding, at your prom, whether it was 20, 30 years ago, if you had a vehicle that was exhibited at the museum. I would love to see those pictures because I think people, when they see it on social media, you have a Facebook page.
Yep, go What Drives Reno.
Post it there or try to send it there, or you can send it to me, Lisa, at lotusradio.com, and I'll post it for you. And I have a prize. If you guys send us a picture to that email address, I will give you a prize. Maybe it's tickets. Maybe they get a free pass or something. We'll figure it out.
What I'll do is I'll just add it to them. So we'll say, what do I want to get? I'll give everybody what do I start off with?
I don't know, free something. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I want them to have some skin in the game. So I will go back and say, I will at least give them a family membership for the next week.
Okay.
You know what? I'll do that. I'll give a family membership. That's worth $99.
Yeah.
Between now and next Friday, if you share a picture, now you have to come down to the museum and fill out the application.
Okay.
You can't call me and 3 years from today and say, Phil said I got a free membership application. So if you come in between Sunday, that's the 26th, and the next Friday, I will give you, if you post a picture, or if Lisa posts it for you, I'll give you a free $99 membership.
I would love to see those pictures.
Okay.
Because there's stories behind all of those pictures.
Great stories.
Yeah, I would love to see those. And then maybe we can use some for your social media and your marketing purposes.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, maybe
you
share a story with your family at the museum, and you might be the next poster family of the National Automobile Museum.
We did that when I first got here.
Really?
I had a big casting call, and I took them all down. I said, you guys will all audition. I used all the pictures from the community. We might do that again. We're doing new literature.
Yeah.
And I used them on all the posters and all the collateral material, and it was a huge casting call. You know what? We're going to do that.
You know, I pulled up to the museum, was it last week when you had the free family day?
Yeah.
I came in, I was going to take some pictures. I couldn't get into the museum. There were so many families with kids, and I thought, this is so beautiful.
And a lot of them, we put this new 3,000 square foot interactive kids activity center there. So it's like people say, I don't want to bring my kids because I'm always telling them don't touch. No, it's a whole experience there. And I joke about it all the time, but it comes the holiday season. So I know those people who are listening, there's one that's going to smirk when I say this. Have you been home for a holiday and you go, I just got to get out of here?
Yeah.
Or not so much that as I have relatives or family visiting me for a week. What the heck am I going to do for a week? Take them down to the National Automobile Museum, drop them off, or spend some time with them. Our admissions are $15 down to $10, and 5 and under are free.
Wow.
I mean, get a couple of kids and your family, you're in there for $20.
Especially as it gets colder outside.
You can't even get a Happy Meal for that stuff.
Oh my
lately.
gosh, a family, if we're going to the movies, can you imagine?
It adds up. Anything you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I just absolutely adore you. I love this show. I've been waiting for my chance to share my first car, my VW, wannabe BMW.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for making this happen. And we'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
We'll be back with more What Drives Reno on 1060 AM KFOY, Radio for America.
Looking for a venue for your next event? The National Automobile Museum can host any event in a variety of venues to choose from. Have an awards ceremony in the 157-seat theater, or select one of several themed galleries for a business luncheon or banquet. Guests will love the 16,000-square-foot Riverside Pavilion, complete with outdoor bar, heaters, and fire pits. Everything you need, including chairs, linens, staging, and AV equipment, are also available. Go to automuseum.org for details.
I'm having my birthday at the National Automobile Museum. They have this cool birthday zone with Mater and Lightning McQueen. And their brand new Children's Activity Center has fun games like Junior Engineering Studio, Lego Building, an interactive car wash, and a lot more too. They even have a theater where we can watch a movie or play Mario Kart. I even get my own birthday t-shirt.
Book your child's ultimate birthday party today at the National Automobile Museum. Visit automuseum.org/events.
We're back with more What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. And now here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Welcome back, Reno. Excited to have our last two guests there. That was Lisa from the radio station and also Isla. I mean, they're just great people and great stories. I learn something new every single time that people come on the show. You ever talk to somebody you know people for like 20 years, then you go to a social function and you're sitting next to the person you know for 20 years, and they start talking to somebody else. I'm going, oh my God, I had no idea that they had so much experience.
All the time.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You just got to be good listeners. I know I'm more of a talker, but there's got to be a good listener, and you'll pick up on a lot of things. I want to just touch base for a second because we have a brand new exhibit that just came in a couple of days ago, and we're really excited about it. So I'm going to say this till people are just totally tired of me saying it, but I need to remind people, if you haven't been to the museum in a long time, you don't know what you're missing. So our latest exhibit, temporary exhibit, it's only going to be here until November 6th, is our Porsche exhibit. Now, let me tell you what that is. Terry, I was drooling today. So we had 25 of them roll in today. I mean, some of them were like $800,000 automobiles. Oh. I was afraid to breathe on them.
That makes me sweat.
Yeah, I was afraid to breathe on them.
I don't have to take care of them.
So I'll be nervous until they walk out, but all just really amazing people and owners. So what this is, for those people who don't know, and if you have any Porsche lovers out there, this is the 60th anniversary of the Sierra Nevada Porsche Club. It's also the 70th anniversary of the Porsche Club of America. So we're celebrating two. We took the cars out of the National Automobile Museum, and we brought in 25 of the most unique Porsches you're ever going to see. Mm-hmm. And if for those of you who just love automobiles, or maybe you love Porsches, you're not going to see a variety of those automobiles side by side. You're not going to get that close. And if you are, I'd be surprised, because there's only a few places you can go see cars like this. So beautiful cars, and you're seeing the advancements in technology, just breathtaking. We had the news station down here this morning, and you know what always happens, Terry, is I talk about it, and then people go, oh, yeah, I heard about it. And then they call me up and they go, when is that leaving? And I said, it just left 2 days ago.
Every time, right? It seems like it.
So now I want to remind you, it's only going to be here to November 6th. Okay. You're going to get within 2 feet away from each other. The local Porsche dealer participated. Our board of directors participated. Porsche Club participated. Oh, cool. And there's 25 of the most unique automobiles. No stairs. There's no stairs, no escalators, no smoking, and you can just walk right in and be there within like 50 steps.
Yeah, Porsche has just such a unique history anyway, and it's really it's going to be good to see. Basically, just go through time and watch the progression of Porsches. I'm assuming, right? Is that kind of how?
It's exactly how it is. I mean, we tried to have a variety. The Porsche Club did all the. We could have had 50 or 100. Yeah. You have a variety of makes, models. Some of the owners had put little one sentences to describe what's unique. The first one ever made. Just whatever that unique story is for them, and so make, model, year, color, and then a little story behind it. But they're right there, and it's something really special for people to take advantage of. So don't forget November 6th.
November 6th is the last date on that. Is that up on automuseum.org?
It is. And I guarantee we had the news down there this morning supporting us and getting excited about it. I sent the press release out 24 hours ago, and literally the phone's going, can I open it? Can I go now? We haven't even put the signs up yet officially. But it's just a lot of excitement, and all the owners are there. We're going to probably tie a movie in, so go to our website. We're going to try and do something in our theater, and everyone who's a Porsche lover, we'll have a little social event down there. Come look at the collection, watch a movie in the theater, just more camaraderie.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to switch gears. I want to remind our listeners this show is made possible by the National Automobile Museum. It is located right in the center of Reno on the corner of Lake and Mill Street on the beautiful Truckee River. If you haven't gone to the museum, I encourage you to visit our website, automuseum.org. 240 amazing automobiles, Formula Ones, NASCARs, the very first cars, down to Herbert the Love Bug, Elvis's personal car, a lot of great stories and a lot of technology. Today, though, we're going to talk a little bit about, this is story time.
Okay, I like stories.
Story time. We're going to talk about the 1907 Thomas Flyer.
Okay, and you've mentioned it a few times on this show with particular guests and stuff, and I know of it. I don't know much about it, so I'm interested in hearing about this.
if you go into the museum and you look at it, you're going to think, and this is what everyone says, they go, oh, that looks like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And I'm dating myself. Or how about the Clampetts, the Beverly Hillbillies car? And they're going to see it at the back of the room. It is one of the most valuable, priceless, one of the most significant automobiles that there is. Very famous people in the car world are very famous. We talked about it probably too much, but I told everybody Jay Leno took it down, drove it around with me at Jay Leno's garage. If you want to check it out, he did a great story, and he knew more about it than I did. I was going, oh my gosh, he really knew his stuff. But for those cars, for those people, back in 1907, what do you think? Was there gas stations at every corner?
No, there probably wasn't. I'm guessing. There may have only been one per town. I'm guessing.
Yeah, not a lot of gas stations, not a lot of roads. People still back then really believed that the car was for a rich man.
Yeah,
it wasn't reliable. If they needed to get somewhere, they pulled a horse and buggy out, and truthfully, that's what they had to do.
Yeah.
You know, for the first 10 years or so, the automobile came out. You know, especially in colder climates. You know what they had to do every single night and every single morning?
Crank that thing, right?
Well, they had to empty.
They had to empty it out. That's right.
Empty all the fluid out. So when we're out there and our kids and grandkids are complaining because their heated seat doesn't kick in fast enough or the defrost doesn't work, can you imagine telling them, what I need you to do is go out to the barn and drain all the fluid out, and then when we get home tonight, I want you to put it tomorrow morning, put it all back in again. Completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were really heroes. So I'm going to tell you a story about a man named Jet. No, not that. Everybody knows what that is. But back then in 1907, there was a big promotion. It was from a publishing company in New York, and one, I think it was called Matin, and it was a publishing company, I probably butchered the name, back in Paris. And they had this idea. We're going to show the world that a car can be driven. And we're not going to do it in the summertime. I mean, there was the Peking to Paris race and all that. We're going to have it so it goes around the world. And we're going to do it in the wintertime to prove to people that the car is reliable.
Okay.
Now remember, back in 1907, for those who are listening that live on the East Coast or know what a real winter is, so they took off in January and they're going up from New York City up towards the Buffalo, New York area.
Oh, no.
Blizzard.
Yeah.
It was a blizzard. Literally was a blizzard. So one of them didn't make it, the first day of the race. But 160 some days later, they ended up crossing the line in Paris. But originally, they planned on going all the way up to Alaska, and they thought in the wintertime they're going to cross
drive over the ice.
Just drive over the ice. Well, the only car out of the ones that participated, and that was Germany, France, Italy, United States, and I think Italy had two. The only one who made it up the original route because they were so far ahead and back was the American Thomas Flyer.
All right.
The short story is Teddy Roosevelt, president, everyone knows, very charismatic, very competitive man.
Yeah.
He found out that the United States wasn't going to participate. And he said, this is not happening. But it's a big investment.
Yeah.
So what do you think he said? We're going to find somebody.
They're going to do it. We're going to figure it out.
So we had all these countries that had been working on this car that had participated in races like Peking, China to Paris. They had all the modifications, state of the art back then. They all had the cars ready, and they said, we're going to do it, more of a promotional stunt. And they just rolled one off the showroom floor, called the mechanic, and who was down there somewhere, and said, hey, I need you to be in New York tomorrow morning, George Schuster, and what I need you to do is be one of 4 people and race around the world. And what would someone say nowadays?
Can I get my social media hits up using this?
Yeah,
probably is what someone would say.
Because one of the people was the National Media Publishing Company. He was supposed to go all the way around. And he didn't last very long.
No,
it's funny. He got on, and then he got off. He wanted to get back onto the finish line and drive it across. And Schuster says, "Hey, I'm not going through this." So the short story is those countries all competed. It's a whole story because had the drama and the fights and the drivers and everybody. Only one man in the United States made it, George Schuster, from the beginning to the end. They had people that said, no one's going to know. We're just going to take our car and put it on a train and go another 1,000 miles. Well, or stories like one of the German teams got there in this particular segment a little early, and they bought every gallon of gas there was within miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Yeah. And they had some that they were just going through, and the farmers said, you're not going to scare my chickens and goats, so we're not going to let you cross this, this farm. But the short story is these were real heroes.
Yeah.
They went around the world. A lot of times for one segment, through Siberia, there were 70 days in a row they weren't able to sleep. They slept on the ground.
Oh my gosh! In Siberia.
In Siberia, and
Oof.
the number one thing that is, as this was big time, so it was like 400,000 people on Times Square when it took off. It was like landing on the moon, comparable back then.
The old ticker tape parades, as they used to say, or okay.
And they were keeping things live, so they had pigeons with them, and they put messages and they send them back to publications, and that's how they got the news back then. But it was just, they're truly heroes back then, and did things that were just unusual. I can't see people doing that now. And then I said, well, where's my dog or my cat? I need some companionship.
I need my registered AKC service animal with me, right?
And at some points, like the news got out because it was so famous. So in Siberia, for example, all the ones that were in the final leg, they spent just as much time literally hiding. So do you know why they were hiding?
No, I don't.
Because the word got out from the what do you call them? I don't want to, the gangs, not gangs, but whatever the group is.
Mafia?
In Siberia, the gangs, the tribes that were looking for them, and they were trying desperately to find them because they wanted to kidnap them for ransom. So one time the Thomas Flyer was out there, and let me just give you one other spot. There was a lot of things that broke down.
Sure.
So you just don't call, DoorDash or whatever and get a thing delivered.
Can't call AAA.
No AAA, nothing like that. It would break down. They'd have to walk like 50 miles, literally 50 miles, George Schuster, to get a piece of metal done, bang, and then carry it back again 50 miles. But they were worried about being kidnapped. So there was one story that they were out there in the middle of Siberia, and people came up, and it was the military, and they came up and they said, oh, we're being arrested or something. And they said, get out there and put that fire out now. Are you crazy? Do you know who's looking for you?
Yeah.
But the short story is they made it around. It was an amazing accomplishment. The irony is they got to the finishing line. So Germany got there technically faster, but they cheated. They cheated. Plus the fact that the Americans went all the way to Alaska and followed the original route and then come back, they got some credited time.
Sure.
So in the end, the United States got to Paris, and they're just crossing the line, came into the city, and guess what happened to them?
Broke down?
Well, about in Russia somewhere, no. It broke down a lot, but in Russia somewhere, a pigeon broke the front light out.
Oh, no.
So they went, through around the world.
They got a fix-it ticket. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Pretty close. Yeah. So they're ready to cross the line. This is like landing on the moon. And a policeman in Paris said, you're not coming into the city. You have a broken light.
Oh, God.
You can't cross the finishing line. So a local resident got really annoyed with that, took his bicycle off that had a light on it. They put it on the front of the Thomas Flyer, strapped it around, and George Schuster, I heard, has some choice words for the policeman. He says, I just traveled around the world through blizzards. You sody bleepity bleep, you're not going to let me do this, put it on, and they crossed the finishing line. And afterwards, for those who are historians like me, I love history.
Yeah, me too.
They got the car back, made the trip. The short version is Teddy Roosevelt invited him down and sat in the car. So it's in the National Automobile Museum. But Mr. Hara, he knew the story. And for those of you who are not familiar, the National Automobile Museum, 175 of the cars that we've created the museum with were based on Bill Hara's collection of 1,500. He purchased it, and there's a whole bunch of, I can do a whole episode just on that. But they're heroes.
Yeah. They're explorers. It's like Lewis and Clark, except with cars.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, they're doing things that no one had ever done before.
And people can't even relate to it, but the purpose of it was to tell the world it's not it truly was a rich man's car.
Yeah.
I mean, the average person was making $600 a year. Some of the cars in the museum, they say, they're $1,500, but 70 years ago, that's $30,000.
Yeah.
So people are making $600 a year. $30,000 is a rich man's car, but they weren't thought of as being reliable until this time. So this was all a campaign to show that cars are reliable. Thomas wanted to get some publicity, and for those of you who were interested in that little storytelling, this car is at the National Automobile Museum, and everyone is asking us to borrow it. We're saying no.
That is amazing. That piece of history is here in our fair city of Reno.
And people forget. So I want to remind everybody who's listening today that if you haven't been to the National Automobile Museum, just go to our website, automuseum.org. I encourage you to do that. We are a full event center. We have birthdays now, 4 birthdays a weekend. You're in Tomater, Lightning McQueen. We have a 3,000 square foot activity center. If you're tired of doing the events at the same place, the same time, going up the same escalators all the time, we have 105,000 square feet with some really unique things. A 30th Street, a 50th Street, a Old West Street, state-of-the-art equipment. We have so much to offer. And the last thing I'll share, if you are looking for something to do and you're bored and the weather's getting you, we are looking for volunteers. We cannot do without you. If you want to work at an event, you want to work at a theater, greeting people, work in the store, admissions, work in the shop, let us know, www.automuseum.org. Here's the last word. There's no commitment. You want to work 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours every other month. We'd love to have you and be part of the family. Anything else I missed, Terry?
No, I think you covered it very, very well. Come down. The Porsche exhibit alone is just
it's going to be here till November 6th. So come on down. Until then, I will see you next week, same time, 1060. And please come down and visit us at the National Automobile Museum.
You've been listening to What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. For more information about the museum, head on over to our website, automuseum.org. We'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. with What Drives Reno on 1060 a.m. KFOY, Radio for America.